Maybe a dumb question, but do directors bid on film work? So that's not a dumb question, but I work primarily in TV, so I'm going to talk about TV directors first. And then if you want to follow me, I'll talk about the exact process that actors get work and writers get work in my following videos. Okay, so for TV directors, how it usually works is at the beginning of the season, the showrunner will meet with the producers of the show, and the producers will set up meetings with potential directors to do episodes of television. And sometimes the studio will put together a list, sometimes the network has a list of people they like, sometimes agents send in people, and then the showrunner will look at that list and decide, okay, which of these people do I think will be the best fit for the tone of what I'm trying to do here? So, for example, let's say I was running Game of Thrones. I'd only want to hire directors who had a lot of experience with big budget projects, working with special effects, working with green screen, experience working with animals, preferably dragons. If you've worked with dragons before, that's who I want to hire. When my partner and I ran Marin on IFC, that was a real low budget show. So we wouldn't have been interested in any of those directors, not that they would have been interested in working on Marin, but we wanted directors who could do run and gun, like real dirty, guerrilla style directing. So we would look mainly at like indie filmmakers because they work on a real tight budget. On a big budget show, it's not the end of the world if a director goes over budget. It's really not the end of the world. But on a show like ours, we were told pretty straightforward by the network, it would be the end of the world. And the studio said this, it would be the end of the world if you went over budget. And so that heat would fall on my shoulders and my partner's shoulders. We didn't want to take that heat. So when we met with potential directors, we're like, hey, do you get the tone of what we're looking for? Can you help realize the vision that we're trying to go for here? And can you stay on schedule and not go over budget? I'm sure there are plenty of directors who are not interested in working on that show because they weren't going to get paid enough, and they knew the budget was so low. They weren't interested in doing that kind of project. They want to build their resume to do bigger and bigger projects. So a lot of people were just off the table, but we found a lot of great directors who understood what we were going for and could stay on schedule. And so that's kind of how that works. Then the studio puts out, so it's not a bidding process. It's not like 10 directors are saying, hey, I'll do this project for X amount of money. The studio puts out an offer to the director's agent. It's usually a low ball offer. Then the agent comes back saying, no, a counter, this is what we'll do it for. And then at that point, the studio has to decide whether they want to meet somewhere in the middle, or sometimes they say, no, take it or leave it. This is the offer. Then the director says, we'll decide if they want to take it or leave it, right? So that's how that process works out. So there's no bidding, right? That's not how it works. But if you want to know how it works for actors and writers, follow me here because those will be my next videos. Good question though, not a dumb question. @Michael Jamin Writer.